Going to share a couple quotes with you right this second from sources I talked to. And listen to this one. I'm curious to hear what Greg Sankey thinks because I still think they can play and would love to see them tell the Big Ten to piss off. Another one, same person. The SEC isn't going to be forced to play by the Big Ten. They're not going to be forced to do anything by the Big Ten. Dean Legge from Dog Post, making you a smarter Georgia fan, and we really have become very tribal in this country, and it's looking like college football is no different. Those quotes were from a source that texted me that I've known for a long time, decades, who is in the game, and texted me that Sunday night after it really did look like this was all ending. And his suspicion was we were watching the Big Ten get a little far ahead of itself. We were watching the media that covers the Big Ten get a little bit far ahead of itself. And here we are today, Monday, and I want to make sure that so many of y'all have been going to Dog Posts and you're seeing what we can deliver. But I have to say that although I do these updates and Matt does these updates once a day on YouTube, we really can't give you moment-by-moment updates, and there's been a lot of them today. So I would encourage you to go to the website. I'm going to put a link. Let's see, the link comes up over on this side to make sure that you do check it out. And it's just been a wild whirlwind day, and I do want to go through a lot of the different things that are going on in the league and broadly in college football. As it stands today, going into Monday evening, it does look like the Big Ten is either moving forward with their pausing / postponing / canceling of the season, although they are getting a lot of blowback from the player, not just the players. I mean, the players want to play, but from coaches. You saw, Scott Frost, who I'm going to talk about in a second, but then Jim Harbaugh, Ryan Day. Those are the two biggest coaches in the league saying publicly they want to go. But it was Scott Frost that caught my attention today at Nebraska, saying that Nebraska would look at other options. I don't know what that means. I don't know actually how they could pull that off. But there's a lot of, I think the Big Ten, through its sourcing, pulled out a knife, and everybody else has pulled out a gun. And for the SEC, insofar as I can tell today, they're the only people who have put an actual statement out, not through sourcing. And for the record, sourcing is an extremely important part of the media world and has been for the last coming on 50 years. But when a person like Greg Sankey, the commissioner of the most powerful conference in college football, puts out a statement saying that he still wants to play, that's me paraphrasing, that shows you that the SEC is still, I don't know about lockstep, but still pushing forward. This is an extremely, not just politically conservative league, but like they're conservative with what they say. And I mean not in a political way. They are very hesitant to get out in front of things. And I think it's becoming clear that the Big Ten did get out a little too far, because the SEC, ACC, it does look, from what I understand and from sourcing that I know in administration as well as TV, it looks like the SEC and the ACC are going to try to move forward. I think the problem right now is the Big 12. Can the ACC and SEC make this move going forward, which looked like total lip service to me in March and April? Now it's looking like they weren't just threatening to do that they very well could move forward, the SEC, and take the ACC with them, or vice versa, however you want to put it. They are looking for the Big 12, the most dysfunctional organization in sports, I would say, not just college sports. They're looking for, another wingman to go along with them. And, if it were me right now, I would say that the Big Ten is probably still going to cancel. The Pac-12 hasn't said much, but, if you read what I wrote over the weekend at Dog Post, you would know that the Pac-12, I think, has wanted to cancel from the get-go, but doesn't want to be the first one. The dynamics here are big in a lot of different ways, but the nuance of it all can't be ignored either, which is you have players not getting paid, making hundreds of millions of dollars in a billion-dollar industry for institutions, and they are not organized. And the question is, at the end of the day, and the only reason you're watching this is, are we going to play in the fall? And again, right now, according to everything that I can tell, we're not exactly shut down like we were, it looked like, on Sunday. On Sunday, this thing, by about 10 o'clock, this thing looked dead. I was talking to an attorney that I know, and his point was, all this takes is one death across college football, and the entire thing could be looped into a lawsuit that would really threaten moving forward. I mean, you had the Ed O'Banion thing from a while ago, name and likeness. The kids have never been able to profit off that. That is happening for the first time now. I think the players in this thing their value is in playing. Their protest, although I think they are completely within their right for sure to do it, I don't know how much power they really have, because the power they have is in not playing. Okay? Them saying they want to play, that's not really anything new. So the real power from the players, I think, would be saying, we're not going to play unless X. The situation is different than that right now. So I think what you're seeing with the athletic director at Arkansas, Texas A&M, and now Mississippi, all saying, hey, we want to play. And again, let me read this quote from an insider, and this is, these are people that work in the SEC, and this is the big thing about going to the site, is that you will be able to read these things. I don't have to read them to you, and that's the important thing here. Quote: "Why would we stop now? The season doesn't start until late September. I think there's 47 days between now and the first game." I mean, I think the SEC is kind of looking at this going, hey, we're not saying we're going to play for sure, and we're not saying we're not saying that we're canceling or that we're playing. But why are we making this decision in early August when the facts could change in the next 10 days, let alone 20? I mean, you're 20 days into this, from now. The SEC would still be almost a month away from playing a game. They could cancel it at any time. I think everyone understands that things could just be straight up canceled at any moment. So I think there's a lot of college football world that's scratching their head going, why are we canceling right this second? Like, what has changed? And as a person who believes in science and believes in doctors, I think you have to take everything very seriously on the medical front. That's why I'm still skeptical in a healthy way about this season. But I think, too, having been on a board of trustees, having been a college athlete, having covered college football for 2+ decades, this is about not just the health, but the money right now, as well as the money in the future of college football. This is we've reached an extremely important crossroads, if you want to call it a tipping point. That's where we're at right now. And the question is the SEC going to lead in a different way than the Big Ten? Because, look, everybody can talk about the Pac-12 and the ACC all they want to. This is about, is the Big Ten going to move forward, and what does that mean? If they don't, is the SEC going to move forward in a way that matters, that we can actually produce and crown a national champion? I'm a little skeptical. I just think without Ohio State, it's going to be hard to really say, hey, this group was the national champions. But we lived for decades without, certainty in college football, and there's been times when the College Playoff Football Committee got that wrong too, which could determine a national champion that's incorrect if you want to go that far. So we've been here before, and for decades the Big Ten didn't really matter in the national championship world. They do right now. So let's just see what happens. I think that I would really encourage you to go to the website. That is constantly changing the news and the information. I'm going to link this article right here so that you can be ready to go. Stuff changes constantly, so check it out. Thanks for watching. We'll be here tomorrow.